All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're taking a look at a really fascinating social enterprise from India called Project Antaryami. And it's all about what they call their flywheel solution to a couple of massive problems.
And it really all starts with this one simple question. Can a single job solve two of a nation's biggest problems? Now I know, it sounds almost too ambitious to be true, but the model we're about to break down is designed to do exactly that.
So to really get why this solution is so clever, you first have to understand the scale of the challenge in India. We're talking about a tale of two crises that, on the surface, seem to have nothing to do with each other.
Okay, so on one side of the coin, you have a huge employment crisis. You've got over 8% unemployment, which translates to something like 67 million people who need dignified, meaningful work. Then, on the other side, there's this profound gap in healthcare. 4 million Indians need compassionate, end-of-life care every single year, but less than 1% of them can actually get it. Two totally separate worlds, right?
Well, this is where Project Antaryami comes in with a really revolutionary idea. They believe these two worlds aren't separate at all. In fact, they can be connected. You can use work to create dignity in more ways than one.
This one question from the founder, Murty, really gets to the heart of the whole philosophy. It just reframes the entire problem. It's not a call for charity. It's a challenge to build a system that can actually sustain itself.
So how does it actually work? I mean, how do you pull something like this off? Let's break down the three-part engine that makes this whole thing go.
It's actually a beautifully simple three-step process. First, they train people through a free academy. Then they employ those graduates through a global network. And finally, the surplus money that's generated is used to build a lasting legacy through a charitable trust. Train, employ, build. Let's dig into each piece.
So pillar number one is the Antaryami VA Academy. You can think of this as the engine. It provides free, really intensive training in high-demand digital skills, getting people ready for the modern workforce. And their goal is incredibly ambitious. They want to certify over 20,000 virtual assistants in just 5 years.
Okay, so once they're trained, they plug into the Antaryami VA network. This is the marketplace. It's what connects these newly skilled VAs with clients all over the world, letting them generate a real, sustainable income. And we're talking about serious, life-changing money here. Top performers can make up to 1 lakh rupees a month. All right, so they're earning good money. That's fantastic. But here's the million-dollar question. How does that work actually become care? This is where the brilliant revenue flywheel comes into play.
The flow of money is actually really straightforward. It starts with clients paying for projects. That money flows into the VA network, which becomes income. And then, and this is the key, that income gets strategically reinvested to both grow the system and build that final legacy piece.
And this slide shows you exactly how that reinvestment is split. 40% goes right back into expanding the academy so they can train even more people. 30% goes to improving the network's infrastructure, making it stronger. And that final 30%? It's channeled directly into the Antaryami Trust to fund the construction of a hospice. You see, the system literally feeds itself, funding its own growth and its ultimate mission at the exact same time. It's a perfect loop.
So the model is elegant for sure. But what does it all mean in real human terms? Let's switch gears from the mechanics and look at the incredible ripple effect of its impact, what we could call the human equation. It all starts right here, with this number, 20,000. That's 20,000 lives directly changed. Virtual assistants who are going to be trained and find dignified work within just 5 years. But of course, the effect just multiplies from there, because those 20,000 jobs, they're going to provide economic stability for over 80,000 family members. You know, each one of those jobs is lifting up an entire household.
And this is the end game. This is what all that work is for. A 300-bed hospice with the capacity to give compassionate care to over 3,600 patients every single year. It's an incredible journey, from a keyboard to a hospital bed.
This quote from the founder just ties it all together so perfectly. It's not about handouts. It's a circulation system where human effort gets turned into income, that income gets turned into infrastructure, and that infrastructure gets turned into eternal care.
So really, when you step back and look at it, what this project represents is a whole new blueprint for change. It's a fundamental rethinking of how we can tackle huge social problems. And this table just lays it all out. It really highlights the core difference. Look at any metric: funding, sustainability, dignity.
And you'll see the Antaryami model creates a self-propelling system, not a cycle of dependency. The beneficiaries become earners, and their dignity comes from contribution, not from gratitude.
And you know, this might be the most crucial point of all, the psychological shift for the virtual assistants themselves. Their work is no longer just a job to pay the bills. They know every single day that every task they complete is directly helping to fund someone's peaceful final days. Their work suddenly has this dual purpose. It empowers their own family today while building this incredible legacy of care for tomorrow.
Which leaves us with this final, really powerful thought. In their documentation, the project ends with the line, "This is how work becomes worship." And that just makes you wonder, if a simple job can be transformed into a mission that builds something this profound, what else can we build?